Hello, and welcome to the 5th episode of Virtual Weaponry. I'm XNGA Alpha, and I will be your host. In this episode, we'll be looking at the 870 MCS. The 870 is an American shotgun, originally designed by Remington Arms. Originally, it was known as the Remington Model 870, however, it is known in the military as the M870. The 870 was originally designed and entered service in 1951. However, the MCS, or Modular Combat Shotgun variant, wasn't designed until 2004. The 870 can fire a multitude of different shotgun rounds, including 12, 16, 20 and 28 gauge and .410 bore. The 870 was the fourth in a series of Remington pump-action shotguns. John Browning designed the Model 17, which served as the basis for the Model 31. The Model 31 was well liked, however, it struggled for sales. Remington sought to correct that by introducing a modern, streamlined, rugged, reliable, and relatively inexpensive shotgun, which came to be known as the Model 870. The MCS variant is just one of hundreds of versions of the 870. However, it is one of the more well-known versions due to the versatility that it provides. An operator could equip the 870 MCS with various barrel lengths, a number of grips or stock variations, and ultimately equip the 870 for a number of uses, including urban combat and door breaching. As of 2009, the 870 holds the record of being the best-selling shotgun in history. With this in mind, it's no surprise that the 870 has had a number of appearances in video games, including Battlefield Bad Company 2, Bad Company 2 Vietnam, Battlefield 3, and Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I and another clan member in particular have very fond memories of using the 870 in Bad Company 2. We originally took the 870 for what it was, a close quarters weapon. As a result, we didn't see a whole lot of use for it on the vast landscapes of Battlefield. Oh, how wrong we were. Once we had unlocked the 12 gauge slugs, we tried them out. Originally we weren't too sure what they did. I originally thought it simply made the 870 more accurate, and I was right. Sort of. Once Jake got a headshot on a recon player across Isla Inocentes, we quickly realised what the slugs did. Rather than buckshot rounds that fire multiple pellets, the slug instead fires a single larger pellet, pretty much turning the 870 into a long-range rifle, something that seemed a bit unusual to us at the time. After this event, we would constantly use the slugs. This isn't to say that buckshot wouldn't see in action, however. Both slugs and buckshot are fairly equal choices. With slugs you get incredible range for a shotgun, but you get the increased need for incredible accuracy. With buckshot you can hipfire some more with raw close quarters power, however you trade away the long range capabilities. Another great thing about the 870 on Battlefield is the fact that it, and all other shotguns, are all kit weapons, meaning that it can be adopted by any of the classes. This is a very helpful trait, as it means that the 870 can be used whether you want to be assault and provide your teammates ammo, an engineer and have a close quarters alternative to a tank, a medic and keep your team up and rolling, or recon and do whatever the hell recon players do. Considering it's on the same engine on the same game, it's not surprising that the 870 performs exactly the same in Vietnam as it does in the base game. Statistically wise, that is. In terms of playstyle, there isn't as much need for the 12 gauge slugs as in the base game. Most of the maps in Vietnam are filled with foliage, and so obscure vision over ranges, so a lot of the action takes place in close quarters more than anything. Even so, I still like to use the slugs at times when there is a bit of range, or I simply want a challenge. The pump action is quite slow on Bad Company 2, at least compared to the other iterations of the 870, which means that tackling multiple enemies can be troublesome. However, when you're able to take down whole, inattentive squad, it can be a good feeling. The 870 of Bad Company 2 is unique compared to its later iterations, in that it doesn't actually aim down the sights, instead the hipfire is simply zoomed in. This is both helpful and not so helpful. On the helpful side, you get somewhat better peripheral vision, however it is a little harder to tell if you're on target, if you're using slugs that is. Unsurprisingly, the 870 returned to Battlefield 3, this time as the only pump action shotgun in the game, until the arrival of the SPAS 12 and the close quarters expansion. The new and improved engine of Battlefield 3 over Bad Company meant that the 870 was slightly different, and a little troublesome to get used to at first. It wasn't long, however, before we began to get used to the 870 again. Battlefield 3 brought with it a number of ammunition types for shotguns, including buckshot, slugs, frag, and flechette rounds. I didn't see much use for the flechette or frag rounds, purely because they didn't seem appropriate for a pump-action shotgun, as they didn't provide the raw power required by the 870, which seems quite ironic considering the frag rounds are basically tank shells, as the USAS 12 showed us in the beginning of Battlefield 3. However, even slugs didn't see a whole lot of use from me. I was excited to unlock them at first, however they just didn't seem quite as powerful or as useful as they were in Bad Company 2. This left it down to buckshot for the 870, and meant that it did need to be used more in close quarters than anything, as it should be really. Even so, I've tried slugs again recently, and have realised that they are just as useful as in Bad Company 2. You just need to be more accurate when you use them. I found that this is much easier to achieve with an optic, such as the reflex sight or PKA 3.4x scope, as you have a much better view on your target rather than using iron sights. Buckshot is still a go-to choice for me in Battlefield 3 however, simply because I find it easier to rush around than in Bad Company 2, and no other weapon is better for rushing than a shotgun. It was surprising to see that the 870 would appear in Black Ops 2, however, considering that the MCS variant was designed only 21 years prior to the events of Black Ops 2, it does seem reasonable. Nevertheless, it's safe to say that both Jake and I were excited for the 870's debut in Call of Duty. We weren't expecting slugs to appear, which meant we weren't disappointed when the 870 only had buckshot. Each of the shotguns in Black Ops 2 are different to each other, there are no duplicates. The M1216 is the automatic shotgun, sort of. The S12 is the semi-automatic shotgun. The KSG is the long-range shotgun, and the Remington 870 MCS, as is known in-game, is the traditional pump-action shotgun of Black Ops 2, proving to be very similar and as effective as power shotguns, including the stakeout and trench gun. Unlike power shotguns where you could easily hip-fire without the need to aim down sights, the 870 receives a great benefit by doing this, as it tightens the cone of the spread, increasing the effective one-hit kill range. I also choose to use the laser sight to increase the hip-fire range of the 870, and the long barrel to increase the reach of the pellets. The role of pump-action shotgun in a Call of Duty are some big shoes to fill. However, it's safe to say that the 870 fits these shoes well, being an embodiment of what a pump-action shotgun should be: powerful, risky, and rewarding. The first playstyle that you might think of with a shotgun would be close quarters, which is both true and logical. Even though most weapons in Battlefield have exactly the same mobility as each other, the 870 is a good choice for rushing due to its raw close quarters power and quick reaction times, meaning that as soon as an enemy appears in your view, they're pretty much dead. Even so, I like to load out the 870 to have much range as possible, without losing too much of the close quarters power. The slugs are an exception to this, as they provide an unusual amount of range for a shotgun, and as a result, you are able to take on a much more effective role in taking down distant enemies, provided that you can be accurate, that is. Being a pump action is one of the main reasons why I like the 870. I love using pump actions more than any other type of shotgun, and the 870 is pretty much the embodiment of what a pump action shotgun should be, boasting high power at close range, but having that risk involved in the slow fire rate. It's no mistake, however, that using slugs with the 870 is also enjoyable, and I'll always remember the time that Jake outsniped a recon player by using the 870 with slugs. It is very clear that the 870 is a versatile shotgun, and it is understandable why it is the best selling shotgun in history. Whether you're barrel stuffing enemies at close range, or pinging snipers at long range, equip this modular combat shotgun and teach your enemies some simple economics. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join me next time when I cover the first sniper rifle of the series, the M24. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will speak to you later.